Hello and welcome to AEC's weekly news bulletin. This is Lina Helmi. Today's headline include the Commerce Case competition, AEC's Venture Lab Expo, and the Nadia Yunus Memorial. 4 students from different schools in the American University in Cairo won the first place in the Engineering and Commerce Case competition in Montreal, Canada. The competition was from the 19th to the 23rd of February of this year. The students are from the School of Business and the School of Science and Engineering. The students were Walid Abdel Noor, Noor Surur, Aya Hani, and Zaina Hisham. The competition was made for the team from 16 different academic institutions. The team from AUC won the Dr. Thomas McLaughlin Award for the Best International Team, Best Business Solution, and the Best Team Spirit.
Hi, my name is Zaina Abdel Daim. I am part of the winning team of the Engineering and Commerce Case competition held in Concordia 2019. The competition consists of an interdisciplinary team of 2 business students and 2 engineering students that come together to solve cases for actual corporates and companies that face problems. The goal of this competition is to integrate interdisciplinary students and come up with innovative and new solutions that the corporates could actually use in the market. So this year, the competition consisted of 16 international teams coming from all around the world. And the AUC team got first place for the first time in history. I think that this would not have been possible if the teamwork between us was not great, and if we didn't do all the practices that we did before we studied. We had before we went into the competition, we had 2 months of work, and it was intense. We practiced almost daily, maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. We met together and we bonded, and we worked on similar cases to the ones we saw in the competition.
The team won first place for demonstrating the utmost standard in all matters of business and engineering. AUC's Venture Lab hosts the V-Lab Expo at the Bartlett Plaza, New Cairo campus between March 24 and 25. This event exposes the AUC community to know more about the upcoming businesses in various fields, such as the health tech, fintech, and energy sectors. Also, members of the community got the chance to meet with the entrepreneurs and potentially win GBL speakers, AirPods, and many more prizes. The AUC Venture Lab is the leading university-based startup accelerator and incubator in the Middle East and Africa. V-Lab has helped pave the way for some successful startups such as Swivel. Also, it aims to pave the way for the success of other innovative startups.
I have a startup, but I'm a bit confused about how to operate a functional business model for it. So I aim to go to join V-Lab to help me like these startups here in.
To see and meet all of the entrepreneurs, I was amazed to hear all their ideas. They're very creative.
On Wednesday, March 20, 2019, Nadia Yunus Memorial Lecture took place in the Ewart Memorial Hall, AUC Tahrir Square, with students and special guests in attendance. The Yunus family and AUC were delighted to welcome Dam Manoush Shafiq as the speaker for the memorial. Shafiq, a leading economist whose career has straddled public policy and academia. She has been the director of the London School of Economics and Political Science since September 1st, 2017. She talks about the future of work and skills, luck versus effort, changing attitudes to the social contract, and the global governance reform.
I've also had some very good bosses who gave me the opportunity to grow. And for me, that combination of climbing the ladder of educational quality and meritocratic organizations enabled social mobility, despite the setback that my family had as a result of the nationalizations.
The Nadia Yunus Memorial Lecture has over the years hosted a broad range of speakers from the world of global affairs. The purpose of the Memorial Lecture series is to provide a global perspective to issues affecting Egypt and the Middle East, and to provide perspective solutions to these problems. This was all for our News Weekly Bulletin. But stay tuned for our interview with political science and multimedia journalism student Siraj Amatori. Hello and welcome back to AC's Weekly News Bulletin. For today's interview segment, we have political science and multimedia journalism student Siraj Amatori. Siraj was chosen as one of the students in the Middle East to receive a fully funded fellowship to pursue his graduate studies in Stanford University. Hi Siraj.
Hi Lina.
So Siraj, tell me, how did your friends and family react to the news?
I mean, I remember the first time I got first off, I'm really happy to be here. When I first received the first part of the news, which is you were selected for the interview, I was like jumping and dancing with my parents on a sofa that we literally broke in half, literally. And when I told my friends, for example, my roommate like wrote me supportive and empowering notes everywhere in the apartment. Like I would go to make coffee and I would find like notes from him everywhere. I mean, everyone had their own way, but everyone was so supportive and extremely happy.
Were they expecting you to go back to Lebanon?
I mean, not really, because I'm very outspoken with my people, you know, with my friends and family. So I've always shared my plans of uncertainty, basically, that I don't care where I'm going. It might be Lebanon, it might be somewhere else, but I think I need to grow more in other places before I go back to Lebanon, you know.
So what are your masters on?
The master's program I'm going to be pursuing at Stanford is part of the Freeman Spogli Institute for International Studies. It's called Masters in International Policy Studies. So it basically is an amalgamation between the quantitative part of social studies and political science and policymaking on one hand, and the theoretical part of it. But largely, it's a practical program with a practicum towards the end, which is like what we here at AUC call the capstone, where you have to travel to a country, find a real problem, issue policies there, and just work on real life problems.
How many places did you send your application to?
So I was freaking out, you know.
How did you decide which university you want to apply to?
Okay, so you see, when I first started deciding which universities I wanted, I had 3 universities in mind, and I was so adamant that I need to apply to them. And these were London School of Economics and Political Science, LSE, Oxford, and Stanford. But when I talked to faculty members and friends and family, everyone was like, you need a safety net to fall back on in case these plans didn't work out. So I applied to these 3, and I applied to other universities that are still very great, right? But like they're just probably it's easier to get into them. But I applied to many places, and I got accepted to some of them. I failed with others, and so happy with the results.
Was the application process difficult?
Absolutely, it's difficult in 2 senses. In one way, it is time consuming. You have to juggle between the applications, because even the same university would have more than one because you want aid and you want to get admitted. So I have to juggle between that and academics and work. And the other thing is that it can be draining at some point, especially the Knight Hennessy application. It needs a lot of information about you. It needs you to reflect on your life and what happened in your life. And that was such a process, but it's worth it. You get to know a lot of things about yourself.
Do you plan working there while you're on doing your master's?
I don't think I'll be able to take Stanford's workload and work at the same time, but if you mean after I graduate, if I'm planning to work there in California, Palo Alto, is that what you meant?
Yeah.
As I said before, I don't care where I am as long as I'm doing something I'm passionate about and I love. So I might be in California, I might be in Sri Lanka, I don't know. I don't care.
Unfortunately, Siraj, this is all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much.
We wish you all the best luck in your future. I'm Lina Hilmi. We'll see you next time for our weekly news bulletin. Thank you.